How many floodlights are we up to?
One. No, yeah. Plus 2, 3.
Back with Tommy Wheeldon Jr. here at Spruce Meadows, the head coach and general manager of Cavalry FC. My name is Ryan Pinder. Tommy, ATCO Field behind us. It's been a while. I imagine you missed this pitch.
Yeah, since November 2nd, 2019. It's hard being here. It's hard having skipped a year, given the year we had. The connection we had with the fans was something I've never experienced before in my life, and you want to have that back pretty soon. There's been work that's been going on since we've since left it, which is good, to fix some undulations and some other nice things that will happen when fans are allowed back in the stadium.
How many floodlights are we up to?
One. Plus 2, 3, 4. Actually, if you see around us now, you can see the work going on in the background. Our owners have paid to get some special floodlights coming in, so it's going to be an even better attraction for those, fall or spring type evening games. I think, I always love playing under the lights, and I think if we can get those nighttime games under these lights, I think it'll be a special time here at Spruce Meadows.
Probably the most unique home field advantage in the CPL in these early days of the league. You think about altitude here, you think about natural turf, and then somehow, some way, whatever reason the stands were constructed the way they were, you can bang your feet and make some noise up there, and never mind the foot soldiers at the end.
Yeah, do you know what? That was part of our planning when we knew the type of stadium we'd get with the aluminum seats and stands. We knew that they would make, 3,500 sound like 10,000, 5,000 sound like 15,000. We knew it would just double in noise because it's phenomenal. And it's almost like, because the pitch is sunk in here, it was almost like a coliseum. So when we started doing the ticketing and we knew our locker rooms would be in that corner, we're like, right, if we could strategically put it where the foot soldiers end would be and the fans that want to shout and be loud there, and then you've got the family section on the other side, that's going to give us an added advantage. That's going to give us a goal up advantage. And we won a ton of home games because we had that extra man from the fans.
Well, and I'm curious what the feedback would have been from opposing players and coaches, because it's not the biggest stadium that a lot of these teams will play in, but my goodness, when you get down to that end, especially with the buildings behind the supporters section, it gets really loud.
Well, it was great because when we'd signed Elliot Simmons and Bruno Zebi this year, who'd played for Halifax and FC Edmonton respectively, they talked about it. It was one of the reasons they said, Joe DiChiaro, who we've added, it was another player that said, walking out there, that was pretty special, pretty intimidating, and I can't wait to play in front of them, because as soon as we did something good, there was a roar. As soon as we needed a bit of a jolt, there was a roar. And I think honestly, we've got an incredible support group that, we're still just at the beginning of growing.
And speaking of growing, the main topic of this portion of our off-season chats will be the new young guns you've added to the core. You mentioned Elliot Simmons. Mo Farsi was named top Canadian in the league, a really impressive award for his play at the Island Games. And Jose Hernandez is a intriguing young piece that you've plucked from another team in the CPL and are really fond of. Maybe walk us through those three players that we've heard about and read about, but to be fair, we haven't seen them in Cavalry colours on this pitch.
Yeah, it's true. And Mo Farsi, I think he speaks for himself, because he's a reason why the Canadian Premier League exists, because if it hadn't been for that, he would have been lost in the shuffle. We got him out of PLSQ in Montreal. He signed on a minimum salary to just give himself a chance. He impressed us within a week of a 2-week trial in pre-season. We knew this was the player. He went on to back that up. Every young player has an opportunity, and it's few that grab it with both hands like he does, and he did. And we're excited to see him back. It's funny because Elliot Simmons was an interesting one, because he finished in the last place team that ended up being second this year in Halifax, and he was part of the clear out. But what we saw in Elliot was, when we scouted him, he's very intelligent with the ball. He's a terrific passer. He moves very well, and he was still young. So he showed that, and there's more to come from him. Currently training at Östersunds in Sweden with the top team there, because it buys him some time. But the one that's still quite exciting that hasn't been unearthed yet is Jose Hernandez. Jose's a player I've known since he was a kid. He used to come down with his his Edmonton Juventus team, and he'd be the kid like, look at him, he's unbelievable. He plays with fire, he plays with skill, he plays with edge, and he was having a terrific pre-season with us. before he then just niggled his hamstring just before, and because it was only a 5-6 week season, he was never quite fully fit. But even when he went in, there was an edge to his game, and we're looking forward to having a full season with him out on the pitch.
And will be able to contribute to those under 21 minutes that the league obviously is. You talked about what this league's here to do. Not only is it find a home for the people like Mo Farsi that are really good players but need a place to play, but also these young guys to really make sure you don't just have them on the roster, you're playing them.
Well, the great thing about this minutes is now Farsi fit within that, bank the minutes, has another year in his contract. Now he has to continue to fight for them, because now he's not obligated to play them because of the minutes. So now it's, a do or die for him. Jose Hernandez has that opportunity to play, but like any professional athlete, will have several more on the roster that he has to compete with them. But Mo's criteria's got bigger to compete, and that's about being a professional player. But yeah, we're looking forward to him.
Okay, I've got a little word association for you. I'm going to say a word. Tell me what comes to mind. We'll start with comfort.
Challenge.
Okay. Fear.
Bravery.
Cavalry FC.
Champions.
Off season.
Long.
Really long. 2020, speaking of long.
Challenging.
2021.
New beginnings.
2028 would be the 10-year anniversary of the league, if I'm correct.
Oh. Legacy.
Maradona.
Legend.
VAR.
No.
No thanks?
No thanks. Yeah.
And Forge FC.
No comment.
That's the only two-word answer. It's always Forge getting you off your game.
VAR was a no thanks, I guess.
Yeah. On a serious note, they've been playing CONCACAF League play. They are great rivals, and it's something that, there's regional rivalries, but then there's just teams that seem to, if you're good and you don't like each other, and there's heartbreaking losses both ways, like that's a good rivalry. You've seen that. But what was it like to watch them go down to places like Haiti and in Central America and have their season continue? There's got to be a bit of FOMO, but also pride in the league.
But you know what? When you put the rivalries aside, because we've had some heated moments that have been prizes at stake, so they have the upper hand on that, and we have to tip our cap to them, because they've edged us out in the final and they edged us out in the Island Games, so tip of the cap. And also, when they've left the league, they've done great for the league, because it's kept the league relevant by being in CONCACAF, being on the cusp of qualifying for the Canadian Champions League. All rivalries aside, we're competing, and it's getting our name out there.
So just tell us when the next game with Forge at Atco Field is. Just let us know.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that. We'll be back with more from the head coach and GM of Cavalry FC, Tommy Wheeldon Jr., as the offseason continues.